lives. And having been rector of St. Mary's for 25 years now, that's a lot of life and a lot of living. And as you build relationships with people, obviously all the time, certainly sometimes, you end up being invited into a privileged position in their lives. And Ethel Stote, I had known her for a lot of years, and would visit her regularly. And she was always a wonderfully warm, charitable, kind person. I remember just before Christmas, I went to bring her Christmas communion, and I did something that I'd never done before in my life that I really found incredibly embarrassing. In my van, we have a bag. Ellen knows this. We have a bag that my home communion set is in, and my stole and books and all the rest of it. So I got to Ethel's place and in Wellesley, and got the scooter out of the van and packed the bag, the recycling bag, in the basket on my scooter. Went in, greeted her. She was there, of course, as you would expect, with tea and cookies, but we were going to do communion first, and then I opened up the bag to get up the communion set, and it wasn't there. Either Jane or Ellen, and I'm certain they had told me, we're restocking it, and I hadn't even checked to see whether it was there. So I came to give her Christmas communion, and I didn't have Christmas communion. And she just sort of patted me on the head and said, "Oh, never mind, never mind. I've had communion a lot of times in my life. I am a clergy widow, you know." And she's just absolutely lovely. And so we would talk, and because she was married to Ray, who was a priest of the diocese, there was a lot of common ground there. Without going into a whole lot of detail, I'll work into what I'm going to read in a minute. When I got to St. Mary's, I think most of you know that Frank Tooth had given me an annotated parish list, the people on the list and comments on some of them. And also because my relationship with Frank was a good relationship, and I treasure that. I could ask his advice, I could ask his opinion, and he would always offer, but he would never force. And I truly appreciated what I got from Frank. And one of the things that I learned from him was that Ray was no longer coming to church. He had Alzheimer's, but it would be good if I could bring him home communion. So starting in October of 1989, I would every second month bring Ray communion at his house. And it was one of those times where Ethel told me of a present, a gift he had given her once upon a time. And it was only recently that I actually got the paper. But I think it's just worth sharing with you. It's appropriately titled Ethel. And it says some things about being a clergy spouse. This is what Ray said to his wife. Ethel, okay, get ready for this. E is for energy, which you will need with the parish to meet and feed the hungry. And he meant that in its broadest sense. T is for tact, diplomacy plus, firmness of love at the first sign, well, I'll say, of a conflict. Okay, and I agree with this. H is for health. Now this is, I'll tell you the date of this in a little while. H is for health. It's important to keep fresh vegetables, exercise, plenty of sleep. E is for the extras expected of you, the parson's wife. Get a look at this one. Social life. All just too. And L is for love, in a far deeper sense than the crooners like Crosby and Valley dispense. Then it says, we are humanly soft, this is from Ray the priest. We are humanly soft, sentimental, and lazy. Our intentions are good, but ideas are hazy. This L is the love of Christ, which fears no man, but dares and inspires the world to follow God's plan. I think that's a pretty good poem from Ray. But that's not the end. This was given to her, and it says, your birthday, 1941. Isn't that something? You know? And it says, Dear Ethel, and the present was a string of pearls. Each one of these pearls began to be made because there was a piece of grit lodged in the oyster. He gave the best in his body to turn, and obviously this is a biblical metaphor, he gave the best in his body to turn that grit into a pearl of beauty, as well as permanently covering the grit. Sorry, I read it before. As well as permanently covering the grit. May these pearls remind us that each bit of grit in our nature can be turned by God into spiritual pearls of beauty, as well as permanently taking care of the grit, so that they may be beauties for and a help to others. Isn't that amazing? There are letters that I have that people have written and notes and stuff that I would not share with you because it's too private. And it is indeed one of the greatest privileges of ministry to be invited into people's lives in these ways. But I think this one is really good and inspiring. We're at a place in the parish. When I first came to St. Mary's, I looked up the registers, and there were lots and lots and lots of baptisms, and there were a fair number of weddings. And I looked at the confirmation register, and I believe the highest number of kids ever confirmed in this place was 72 in 1 year. But the register of burials was very sparse indeed. And in fact, these registers are marked very thick. And there'd be one since the founding of the parish, which said a lot about the demographics of St. Mary's. Those demographics have changed. Yesterday we did Ethel's funeral, and the bishop was here, and Robin Major happened to be in town. He was crashing at our place overnight, and I asked him if he wanted to participate. Of course he did. It was a wonderful service. And now, 24 hours later, Judy's passed away. Without getting maudlin and without getting too sentimentalist, one of the things that we don't speak of much in the church is death and the process of our own dying and how one gets ready for eternity. Our society is death denying. We try to hide it. We try to pretend it doesn't exist. We cover it with cosmetics, and the medical people, less so than formerly perhaps, but still in a very real way, see death as a failure of medicine. We are quite rightly glad at the increased longevity of the population, and the list goes on. But it is true that each one of us is going to die. Each one of us is going to meet God. And indeed, as we enter Pentecost season, we are reminded what Pentecost is about. Not only the conferring of the Holy Spirit, but the fact that Jesus ascended to be with his Father in order for the Holy Spirit to come. And his disciples grieved the loss. They did not want him to go. They wanted to hang on to him and hold him close. And it is hard to say goodbye. And it is hard to let go. And it is no lack of faith. It is no lack of faith to acknowledge that and experience it. But as we do what we do, as we do our liturgy and our worship, as we do our ministry, as we do our social outreach into the community, very valuable as it is, as we do our seniors ministries, as we do our ministry to youth, as we do our ministry in the summer camps, as we do our outreach literally around the world, as the youth group continues to support Kiva, now having invested and reinvested over $13,000 and affected the lives of over 200 people. It is good every now and then to be reminded in the right way that our faith is not only about this life, but it is about God's promise to be with us eternally in this life and in heaven after we die. I'm sorry if this seems, not appropriate for the Sunday before Pentecost, but as a parish, we grieve the loss of our members when they pass away. And it is appropriate to remind ourselves in our worship services that as we grieve as a people with hope, knowing that one day each one of us will be reunited with all whom we love in eternity with God. So just a few reflections on today.